welcome back to JJ's Bakehouse. I'm Ginny and today I'm going to be showing you how to get a really deep red colour for your buttercream. So I've done a completely black buttercream tutorial and it went really well. It does show you how to get that complete jet black look in probably around about 4 or 5 hours, which isn't that bad. So thank you so much for those that have watched that one. It has been really successful. I'm really glad I've helped a lot of you. I've seen so many pictures with your black cakes, so thank you so much. It's lovely to see the results. So today we're going to do the red. Now before I do the red, I'm going to show you the different stages that you can go by different methods. So I'm going to show you that I use the sugar flare. So same with the black, I use the sugar flare extra. This is black extra, this is sugar flare red extra. So the theory is, with this, is that you take your butter, this is just butter, but you just take your buttercream and you can add this to it and it'll give you a deep red colour. So this here is what I got. So this was just added last night, so this has had a good 12 to 14 hours now to develop. So yes, it's red, but it's also a little bit pink. So it's not developed to its full capacity of being able to develop. So that's that one, just to show you. Right. Then we've got another method, which is what I saw going around the pages and on YouTube, is the microwave method. So this method is you make up your buttercream as usual, and then you take out a piece of the buttercream. So you take out a couple of spoonfuls of this buttercream and then you pop it into the microwave, you heat that, and then that heat makes the buttercream, makes the colouring activate more, and you just mix it back in to the batch of buttercream that you've got. So that's where I am with this one. Now, to be fair, it's red again, but it's not deep red. And just to show you as well, I used a good 1/4 teaspoon of the colouring with this one, and that's quite a lot for the amount I've got here. And it's still, yeah, it's redder. I'd say it's redder than this, but it's not got that massively vibrant. So I have tried that technique with microwaving it and putting it back in and then mixing it all back together, but I still think we can get deeper. In fact, I know we can get deeper with the method that I've come across. So if you're happy with either of these two methods, just carry on the way that you're going. If not, have a little look at this one, and hopefully we'll get that really, really dark red that is so vibrant that you're looking for. So let's begin. Now if you've seen the black one, you kind of know where I'm going, but if you haven't seen the black one, then here we go. Get your butter that you would use, the full amount of butter. So my go-to for buttercream is 230 grams of unsalted butter. Again, salted, it's your choice, it's up to you. I use unsalted. So 230 grams and then 500 grams of icing sugar. So that's exactly the same. What I'm going to do now, just broken that up. It doesn't matter if it's really hard or not, makes absolutely no difference because we're going to put it in the microwave. Now what I've found with these colourings, now I can only say I've tried it with this sugar flare. Now somebody did tell me that they tried it with Wilton, and thank you so much for letting me know that, and it worked. So I haven't done it myself, but just to let you know, someone did try it with Wilton colour. When you heat these, the colour activates more, but you need the heat to directly hit this colouring. So what we're going to do is add it in now. So make sure this goes in right with the butter. Don't heat the butter and then add the colour in, because it's not going to do it. So I'm going to take 1/2 teaspoon, this is all we're going to use, of this food colouring. I'm nearly at the end of my pot, so this isn't going to be easy. Right, trying to get as much as I can in that spoon so that you can see that's all I'm adding. Right. Okay, as you can see there, I've got probably a quarter in there. So I'm just going to pop that in. Trying to get as much off there as I can. Right. Oh. Try and lie that down without it going all over my surface. And if you can see inside that, I've got hardly anything left. So I'm just going to pull out the last bits. So that would be a half teaspoon of the red extra. So in that goes. Right. Put this to one side, where I'm getting red everywhere now. Take my spatula, right, let's just give that a wipe off. I've got some blue roll, you just give this a wipe and my fingers a wipe. There we go. Right, now what we're going to do is try and, I was going to say mix it in, it's hard, try and cover over the top of it. When you put this into the microwave, you need to put it in for about 10 seconds and then take it back out again and start trying to stir it. Because this sugar flare, it's obviously doing its job in the microwave, but it starts steaming and it looks a bit scary. Absolutely fine, but just 10 seconds, open it up, give it a stir, 10 seconds, open it up and give it another stir. What we want this to do is go completely liquid, but we need to be incorporating this at every time to try and stop that steaming from happening. Cut my fingers. Right, I'm going to go and pop this in my microwave and I'll be straight back to you. Right, I'm done. So this is complete liquid. Now I'm just going to bring you forward on the camera so you can have a really good look and comparison of these colours. So give me one sec. Okay, through the sides you can already see the difference in these. So you've got the butter method, okay, that was just left in butter overnight. That was the microwave method, where I took 2 tablespoons out and put it in the microwave, then mixed it back in with the rest. And then we have this method, where you can already see, look at the deep red on that. This is the colour we're going to get in the end. So what you microwave it to is the colour that is going to be achieved towards the end, and between these you can see how there's a massive difference in those, and these have been left overnight, so they're not going to deepen anymore. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how we go beyond this. Right then, now what we need to do is bring this back into a butter state, because at the moment this is it's just liquid. We have changed the structure of the butter, so if you leave it on the side like this, what's going to happen is it's going to separate and you're going to get this really hard skim of butter across the top, and it's going to stay in this red watery like consistency at the bottom. So you can leave it on the side and about every 3 or 4 minutes come and stir it round. What you need to do is bring those solids manually back inside the butter. So just don't leave it. If you pop it in the freezer, pop it in every 2 minutes, scrape the sides and keep stirring it round. Otherwise what you're going to have is the top bit's going to come up here, it's going to go hard, and you're going to have to remove the top bit, put it back in the microwave, melt that, and you're going to have to start all over again. So make sure that you do keep stirring this round. I'm being lazy, so I've got myself a water bath. I'm going to tip this into a jug. There we go. I'm going to pop it into my iced water, making sure I don't get any other water into it. And then that is just going to crash it down. So we're going to do nothing else now other than bring this back up to a reasonable consistency, and I'll show you what consistency you're looking for. So I won't do this on camera, I'm just going to sit and have a cup of tea and stir up my butter. So I'll see you soon. Right, that took 8 minutes, I timed it. That was brilliant. And look at mine. There we go. You'd never know. It's all completely incorporated, no problems, and that was so fast. So if you're using the black method, the black one as well with the method, I would use this. Use a water bath. It saves so much time. So your colour, because I've been stirring, your colour's gone lighter. Don't worry, that's going to happen. The colour is in there. We've created it. We took it out of the microwave. It looks like that. We know that the whole of this butter has that colour. All that's going to happen now is we're going to start whipping it up, just like we would do regular buttercream, and we're going to put air into that. And the air is going to lighten it up. But don't worry, because that colour's in there, and we're going to get it back. So it's time to pop it in the mixer and treat it just like regular butter. So this might be a little bit thinner, but it's fine. So we're going to pop all this in, and then we're going to put our whisk on and mix it up. Okay, that's all in the mixer. And then we're just going to mix all of this up. So as you would do a regular butter, we're going to put it onto a medium speed to start with, just to get it going, and then we're going to put it all the way up to a fast speed for around about 5 minutes. I have a creaming paddle, so I don't need to be stopping, starting and scraping. If you haven't got a creaming paddle, this needs to whip up 4 or 5 minutes all in all. Just stop around about 2 minutes and then 2 minutes, and then let it go for the last minute scraping down. So I'll see you in a moment. Okay, mine's had 5 minutes. Now look at that colour. In fact, you can see on top of the machine there, I've 2 different colours. It has reduced quite a lot, but that's just the air, and that's what we need. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add the icing sugar. So I had mine in 3 lots. So my first, make sure that you've got sieved icing sugar. There we are, and pop that in. And then we're going to put a tea towel over the top and let that go on the lowest speed. Now we don't go anything above low now, because otherwise you're going to put more air into it. We've got as much air in there as we need by whipping the butter. Now it's just really, really slow combining, and it's time, but this will make such a difference when it comes to putting onto a cake, when it comes to piping, because you won't have those big pockets of air in there. So, there we go. Right, we're going to scrape those sides down, just because there is some bread stuck to the sides there. Oh, I've got that bit there. Do you know a really good tip when you're doing this with these deep colours is wear gloves. Then you don't end up like I am. Right, there we go. Add the second third of this. Same thing again. Tea towel and onto the slowest. And let that go. You're only doing it until it just combines. And then at the end, we'll just let it go and have a little, oh, right. It's struggling a little bit drier, but it's managing to pull it through. Changing the consistency of the butter can make the mixture a little bit thicker. So be aware of that. This might need to have a little bit more water put in it than what you would have done. Some people don't add any water at all, but you might need to add some into this one. But that's good, because we want to add some water anyway. Right, because it's struggling a little bit, we will add our vanilla. So let me just find where I put my vanilla. Be straight back. Okay, my regular go-to vanilla for this recipe is 1.5 teaspoons, so that's what's going in. And the reason we're putting it in now is because it's going to add a little bit of moisture in there ready for the next amount. So in with my 1.5 teaspoons, and already you can see that that is silking up. It looks so good in there, there's hardly any air bubbles, it looks really nice. And now we're going to add the last amount. Just pop that in. Scrape the sides down. When you've got the creaming paddle, you don't normally have to scrape the sides down so much, but when you're doing it on such a low speed, it's not got that speed to be chucking it around and pulling it off the side, so you do need to still scrape. Right. Last go. Right. This could struggle again in one sec. No, that vanilla has completely done its job for the moment. So that is mixing in really nicely there. So I'm just going to go off and boil the kettle because we just want a little bit of boiling water. This is how our buttercream looks. Okay, it's thick. And again, like I said, that is down to the consistency of that butter. So the structure of it changed and it has made it that little bit thicker. But like I said, that's working to our advantage. Scrape all those sides down there. Now the colour of this has reduced, as you can see, quite a bit. If we compare it for the moment, up there, so you can see. So if you compare it to these finished products, so got this one here, it is lighter than the microwave method. And I just don't like this colour. The butter method with no heat to it at all is just, it's more of a burgundy. It's a really strange colour. Don't like that. So we'll get rid of that. But this here, they're not a million miles apart. So don't worry. We are going to get there now. So drop this down. Make sure you have boiling water. So if I've not said it enough, it's heat that's doing this. So we need to add more heat. So a tablespoon of boiling water across the top, lowest speed. Now it needs that anyway to make it silky. That was too thick to be able to work with. And already when you put that in, you can already see the vibrancy of the colour is slightly starting to increase again. Now we are still whipping it. And obviously every time you whip it, you're just going to put more air into it. So it is going to reduce every single time. Move this to one side because I think I'm done with that. Right, so I'm just going to leave mine now, let it go for around about 3 or 4 minutes on this lowest speed, and then we'll come back, we'll put it to one side, and then it's the waiting game. And I think I'm going to bet myself that in 3 hours I've got the colour I'm looking for. And that is so fast from the time I started. What time should I start with you today? Oh, where I am now, it's 1:30. I started doing this at 1 o'clock, so this whole process has taken half an hour. And with stopping and starting, because there's lots of waits in the middle. I think by 5 o'clock I'm going to have my achieved colour, and that is extremely good if that's the case. So let's have a look. I'm going to come back in a minute. Okay, I finished playing. I'm happy with the consistency. I'm happy that it's where I want it to be. So now I'm just going to put it into this bowl. There we are. It's a lovely consistency at the moment. There we are. Happy with this. Now it might set off a little bit thicker. And if it does set off that little bit thicker, we can add some more boiling water at the end. Don't forget that when we added it, it was quite wet, the butter. So this could give you a false sense of security now when it comes to the consistency. So we'll be aware of that and we can add some later. There's hardly any air pockets in this. Just a bit of a stir around and you're going to have completely smooth buttercream. So now, 20 to 2, I think 5 o'clock. We're back at 5 and we are going to have a look at this colour, and I think it would have developed. I'm going to keep the others so we can compare them. I'll be back. See you soon. Hello, it's 5 o'clock. I have red buttercream, albeit very stiff red buttercream, and this is the way I wanted it to be. When we were mixing it around in the bowl and we added the 1 tablespoon of boiling water, we then mixed it up that little bit and it brought that colour, developed that colour just that little bit more. We've left this to the side, and for just over 3 hours, this has done amazingly well to come up to this colour, but we know there's still more colour in there. Don't forget the other ones that I showed you, they've been going overnight. They've already had about 15 hours worth of development. This has only had 3. So we've already sped it right up. Now we're going to add some more now in this state, but we're going to manually mix this in. So I'm going to take a tablespoon of boiling water, make sure it's boiling, put it over the top, and then mix it around slowly yourself. We're not wanting to put any more air into this. And we'll bring it back to that soft buttercream that we need it to be. Look at this, there's hardly any air bubbles in that at all. Such smooth buttercream, really good. So that's that now. I'm happy enough with the consistency of this. Now, if I was to compare this now to the microwave method one that we did before, so I'm going to I'm going to pipe this out for you, and then we'll compare them because that'll make it easier to see. So I'm going to put this into a piping bag, and then we're going to pipe it onto some cakes, and then we're going to compare it with the others. Okay, we have cupcakes. Now my daughter made these for me earlier on. I said, would you make me some cupcakes to do this tutorial? And she was ever so excited, so bless her. So I've got these cupcakes here, and I've got my buttercream. Just cut off the end. I'm using a 2D nozzle for this one. Alright. Okay then. There we go. The buttercream in itself, aside from the colour, is absolutely lovely. It's so smooth. There's no real air bubbles in there at all. There we go. And right, last one. There we are. So there are our cupcakes. Now the red on those is still very good, but it's still not as deep as what it could be, and it is going to get even deeper. So I wanted to show you what this was like after the 3 hours. So I'm going to do a comparison here. So this was the microwave method, and this is exactly the same. So this has now had 22 hours to develop, and that's had 3. So that is going no darker at any point. It is gone where it's gone. This is going to become even darker. So if you'd have left this overnight, that red would be so vibrant. The other one here went more of a burgundy, and that's just left in the butter, but I used a lot in this. This was around about 3/4 of a teaspoon into just this small amount, so I don't think I'd like to even taste this because it would taste horrible, but it just wasn't doing anything, so I just kept adding a little bit more. But yeah, so that's how that one went. So I really wouldn't use that method. So you've got your microwave method, and then you've got, which is the one little bit of microwave of buttercream. So this was taken out, put into the microwave, and then put back into it and mixed up so that not the whole thing. Now one of the reasons I don't like this as well is you've made all that buttercream and then you're melting it. So what was the point in the first place of whipping it all and doing it if you're just going to take a section of it out and melt it? So, but it's completely your choice. Some people prefer this method. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to leave these on the side, and I'm going to give them another 2 or 3 hours, and then come back to you and show you where it is again then, and that's going to have been 5 hours, and it's going to show you how deep this really does go, and this method really pushes you to get those really vibrant colours, and it's all about putting that heat into the butter straight away, and then you've got such a lovely, silky, beautiful buttercream just here with the method then that we were able to continue on with throughout the whole of the process. So I will be back to you in a few hours. Right, I have waited until 7, so now we have gone 5 hours, and this is the colour that we have achieved here. This is the previous colour, this was the other method, and to be fair, this one is darker, and this has been 5 hours, and this has now been 24 hours. This is a nicer consistency than this, but they're much in it. But this is obviously, you've had to wait that little bit longer, and this is going to get deeper by morning. So if you want that, if you're happy with this colour, there is nothing wrong with this method. If you're happy with it not going quite as deep, and this is the colour you're looking for, then that one's, I'm not saying that's not a good method, because it works, and it, compared to what the butter was like, with just adding it on its own with no heat, that takes it to another level. But this one takes it beyond to that other level again. So this is my cupcakes. This is my bread. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. I hope it's helpful. Any questions, I know it's a different method, then just drop me a message and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye bye.